The next day I had 5 deer, dude. I went in there. I almost had, I was like, I almost had a heart attack. Dude, I was grabbing deer and just dragging them into the woods because it was such a, I was a new trapper. I didn't know. This is 20 plus years ago. I am freaking out. I jumped in the truck. I flew up the newts. I'm like, no. I'm like, I caught 5 deer. He's like, you stupid deer hunter.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fair Chase podcast. I have a friend of mine on today from the East Coast, Steve Richards. How are you, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. You and I have spent a lot of time kind of texting and, these random phone calls and messaging online. And I'm like, man, I got to get you on the podcast. So appreciate you coming on and talking a little bit today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. It's good to catch up,
Yeah, I mean, and we do have to get together and hunt on that Peoria property, that you're talking we were talking about before this podcast. But what the reason I wanted to have you on is because we share something in common outside of hunting. And that is a New Jersey heritage. And yours is actually a heritage. Mine is I just lived there a few years, actually twice when I was a kid, and then again for grad school when I grew up. But I wanted to have you on because you get after it. Like you are trapping and hunting. You're in the woods all year round in New Jersey. And, at least a lot of people that I know, and myself included, we don't think of New Jersey as like a sportsman's state. It actually seems kind of like the opposite. And where I lived on the north side, kind of traveling in and out of the city quite a bit, there was none of that stuff going on. Lots of good neighborhood deer, a lot of good neighborhood bucks that would just sleep in your bushes and stuff. And but nothing, not like a hunting paradise. And so I wanted to have you on and talk a little bit about, like, why do you live in New Jersey? Like, why do you live there anyways?
So it wasn't much of a choice. It's where I was born and raised, and I had every expectation to move west and try to become a guide. Like when I was a kid, that was my dream. My dream was always to go west. It never happened. Excuse me. I'm dealing with a little bit of cold, but I just never made it out. I had a crazy childhood, wild, and then I got saved in like '04, and then after that, I got married, kids, and I never left. But the thing with New Jersey is, I grew up in like 30 minutes from the Pine Barrens. There's like 1.1 million acres there. So that's like all my dad ever knew. My dad knew we drive up to New Gretna, we hunt, state woods at the Pine Barrens. And I did that my entire childhood, all the way up until my 20s. But I just decided it's like when I started driving, that's when I started learning that there's bigger deer, a lot more deer, not too far from my house. And if you just knew how to find them, and that's kind of what I did. I grew up in New Jersey, so we pheasant hunted 3 days a week. We always had pointers. I still have a pointer. You can probably hear his bell running around, but I hunt 3 days a week still to this day. Season just ended, but Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday morning, I get after it. And so we always did that, and he taught me how to duck hunt at a young age. And so it was bird hunting, duck hunting, and deer hunting. And then I got into trapping when I was 12, and that took that I could catch anything I could rat trap, I could catch coons, that wasn't a problem. I couldn't snare for nothing. And that's just the truth. No one ever taught me. Well, little did I know, my dad was good friends with Newt Sterling, and he wouldn't introduce me to him because he was a wild man. And I was able to drive. As soon as I started driving, I met him, and that was it. I pretty much gave up deer hunting for a while. I gave up. I started trappers call it deer shooting. It's not deer hunting anymore. It's like you're just meat hunting because you're trapping 7 days a week.
Right.
And that's what I got into. I was so addicted to trapping, and I get different phases in my life, I guess. And trapping just it took over. I traveled the country with Newt all through the summer. We'd go to all these conventions, different states, and I was like a sponge just trying to learn, every possible thing I could, and, I did, and so now I love it. I still do it today, and they just had the New Jersey Trapper School. I helped out, helped them boys out with that, and it's really cool. It's snaring. See, in New Jersey, it's overlooked.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you got footholds or what have you, and they don't realize that one of the most deadly tools is a snare. Once you learn how to use that, dude, there's nothing you can't catch. So
Is was Newt wild? Like, did you confirm, like, when you met him for the first time, was he a little bit wilder than you
he
thought?
was past wild, but he had quit drinking. So my dad wouldn't introduce me to him because he was such an alcoholic, but then he stopped drinking, but he was still, I mean, the dude was nuts. Like, I was young, and he's 74 right now, so he was probably roughly around my age now when I met him, and trying to keep up with him, like, you had to watch his hands. You could, because he doesn't explain much. You just see what he does. And I used to just fight. And then the other thing is, he taught me every bad thing to do. Like, he would tell me things to do that weren't right, and I'd do them. Like, for instance, I came into a shop one day, and he'd just be sitting there building snares all day long. And then I'd sit there and I'd build swivels for him with this redneck contraption he built out of a drill press that would almost rip your fingers off every swivel you built. But he's such an inventor. Trappers are inventors, and he's heck of one. So he's building snares, and I'm just question after question. And I was like, yo, so I put a duck and stick over my snare. He's like, yeah. You need a duck and stick. And I'm like, all right, I'll put a duck and stick. Well, I was at a farm that I was not allowed to kill deer. I was just learning to really snare, and I was trying to catch coyotes.
Yeah.
I literally just left his shop, ran down. I had snares all through the woods. I put a duck and stick on every snare. Next morning, I run out there. I'm so excited because I had staked a goose out in the middle of the field,
Yeah.
and you could see the tracks in the field, and the coyote would go out. I didn't know anything about it. I was just he would tell me stuff to do, and I'd come up with these ideas, and yeah, do that. And the coyote walked around the goose, and it left. So then I decided, oh, they're going around all my snares. So I need to put a duck and stick. And he agreed to it. And I go there. Well, the next day I had 5 deer, dude. I went in there. I was like, I almost had a heart attack. Dude, I was grabbing deer and just dragging them into the woods because it was such I was a new trapper. I didn't know. This is 20 plus years ago. I am freaking out. I jump in the truck. I flew up the newts. Yo, I caught 5 deer. He's like, you stupid deer hunter. Oh yeah. He used to curse me like every day. I'd do something else. One time when I first started, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hang a deer from a tree. And he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. I'm like, all right, so I hang this deer from the tree. Now I'm driving to the Pine Barrens every day. I got a V8 truck. I'm blowing all my money in gas trying to catch these coyotes. I can't catch a coyote at the time because everything that I'm coming up with is deer hunter mentality.
Right.
I don't know how to be a trapper, at this point. I don't know how to catch raps and coons.
OnX is the title sponsor of our podcast here at the Fair Chase, and it's a must-have app for all of us who love to explore the outdoors. Whether you're hunting or hiking or fly fishing, OnX gives you detailed, accurate maps right at your fingertips. With property boundaries, topographical features, and trail data, you'll always know where you are and where you're headed. You'll also likely be able to figure out where that big buck is headed to. Plus, their offline maps mean you're covered even in the most remote locations. OnX is the ultimate tool for outdoor navigation, making every adventure safer and more enjoyable. Download OnX today and explore with confidence.
You're 17 years old or whatever, and that thing sat there for probably a month and a half. I finally was like, well, listen, I'm done. I cut the rope, the thing falls on the ground. I showed up 2 days later, and the deer not only was it rotten, they chewed the whole deer up. They ate it, and I went back to the newts, and I'm like, dude, they ate the whole deer when I dropped it. He's like, you stupid deer hunter. That was what he still says it today to most people. And he's like, how many deer have you seen hanging from a tree? Just that simple, right?
Right.
But you don't but in a deer hunter's man, people talk about all these ways they're gonna catch coyotes and they're gonna kill there I did everything possible you could imagine and failed in every single one of them until I I remember one of the most valuable lessons I learned from Newt was at a demo in PA. We're sitting there and he's gonna do the demo and I'm watching him and he sets his snare and he says, "Now this is what I do." And he steps over the snare and he walks straight down the trail like 30, 40 yards, comes back, steps over the snare and walks away. And a light bulb went off. And I was like, I knew before he even started talking what he just did. What he did was he continued his scent trail past that snare.
Yeah.
And then he explained, he goes, "You ever have a coyote walk up to your snare and stop and go left or right?" And I'm like, yeah, it happens to me all the time. It's in, you can, and you know what never lies is the snow. So the snow would always teach me. And I mean, it still humbles me. Who am I kidding? It's
Right.
as much as you think you know, you still get humbled by the snow. So the coyotes would come up, they would left or right, and I couldn't figure it out. I thought they were seeing the snares, smelling the metal. No, my scent trail, I went up, I set a snare, I stood up, turned around, and walked backwards.
Yeah.
That coyote's coming down the trail, your scent stops, it stops. Where'd he go? Left or right? And he goes. That was it. Soon as I learned that, I started catching coyotes.
It's way more thought goes into it than just like walking out there, plopping the trap down, catch a stupid coyote, and it's not how it works.
No, you know what? You might get lucky. It's like that one person who goes out deer hunting that kills a 150-inch deer on the first time, and then they're like, "Oh, that was easy." And it's
Right.
like, at me as a kid, dude, I hunted till I was 12. My dad, he got me my hunting license at 9. You're supposed to have it at 10, but he knew the guy. So he got me a hunting license at 9 years old. I hunted 9, 10, 11, and I hunted 12, and I didn't kill my first deer till I was 12 years old with a bow. Like, and I was at 28 yards. I still remember the, yeah, you know what I mean? My little overdraw, I was using a golden eagle sparrowhawk is what I was shooting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It had a little overdraw on it. Dude, my arrows were only like, I don't know, like 13 inches or something. And the thing, I stuck it dead center. I mean, in the deer, I watched it take off running, had a broadhead out one side and fletchings out the other. And it took off running. And I'm like, dude, I couldn't breathe. I remember, I'm a very emotional individual. I wish it wasn't always like that, but it's what keeps me going, I guess, because I come apart. I used to come apart before the shot. The older I've gotten, I've had to train the more I hunt out west, you learn to watch deer more, where the buck fever, when I'd see a deer, I couldn't control myself, and I guess that's adrenaline shot that, I chased my whole life. So, now.
How that goes. Yeah, I'm pretty emotional myself. Probably the most emotional one in my family of the adults between me and my wife, at least. So when I hunt, like I get jacked up, but to your point, the older I've gotten, like it's not so much nervous when I shoot or when the deer's in. Well, right when I'm done, like right when he's running away, I'm like, oh, like freaking out. Which I guess is nice, but um yeah, I mean, that's interesting. So you mentioned earlier, so you're like, you getting, well, I guess the kids these days would say you have different eras. Like you get your trapping era, your bird hunting era. Like what are you in right now? Like, are you just everything right now? You're kind of into it all, or?
So, yeah, but I'm not like fully in one or the other.
Right. Sure. So you're
So,
you're more of a jack of all trades right now.
pretty much. So, I go until I can't, if that makes sense. So, like this year I was hunting a big deer and I found it early and I was watching this deer and well, dude, this in New Jersey. People hunt everywheres and it wasn't private property. It was public. So, I'll give you the backstory actually if you want it.
Yeah.
So I go out to estimate a siding job and I meet this guy. It's a kid. He's young. I think he's younger than 30s, in his 20s or something. So I talk to him. He knows me. I've never met the kid in my life. He knows me, talked about deer hunting and so on. So then he calls me again to estimate another job down south in Cape May. And he asked me where I deer hunt. And I'm very vague. I'm hunting around. The kid pulls his own XL and says, Steve, I'm hunting right here. And I almost said, I don't want to see that. Like,
Right, right.
I don't want to see your onyx. I honestly don't. And he shows me the one piece of woods that I'm hunting this giant deer in. You can't make this up. So what do I got to do? Now I got to pull my phone out and show him where my tree stand is, because if I don't, then I'm going to be the scumbag that he showed. And I just came that it clicked in my head that quick. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this just happened. So he's like, dude, you're hunting 500 yards from me. And I'm like, yeah, we're hunting the only piece of woods. And I had the deer patterned. He was there every single day. And he was a big 9-pointer. And opening day, you got to earn a doe, because I'm in like one of them, zones that you got to earn a buck. So you got to shoot a doe to get your buck tag. So I shoot a doe opening morning. First thing, I shoot one. I go to hunt. The wind's right. So I think to go hunt this buck. And my daughter, the one that doesn't shoot her bow a whole lot, wants to go to the archery shop and shoot her bow. And it's 30 minutes away. So I'm like, I don't say no. If my kids want to do something, I'm like, I've killed enough deer, so I do it. Well, it puts me in my tree stand about an hour later than what I wanted to be in. I jumped the entire herd going in. I saw the buck. I saw him run off. My heart dropped. That was it. I hunted 11 sits. I never seen that deer. I had to go in the pouring rain. I had to change my whole setup. I had to move stuff around, had to change the wind, had to change my access point to figure it out. And then I found him. Like, then he started, uh, you know, the problem was he was coming in 15 minutes after dark every day.
Right.
He'd wait till I left. I'm like, I'm past his bed. He's bedding right here. So I'm passing him in his bed. Once I jumped him that first time, that was it. He never came back.
Was he
I,
watching you, that you think, going
yeah,
in and out? Yeah.
I think so. And it's exactly what I thought. So I changed access. I mean, I did everything, dude. I got rid of the 4-wheeler. I jumped on the e-bike. I started hiking. I did everything I could do, that I could think of, I changed everything, my whole entire setup. And I was doing like a run and gun setup. I have my lone wolf, with the sticks, and I hunt that a lot. Well, I'm thinking, dude, I'm getting too noisy, getting in there. So I went hung a stand and just left it in there, and I just, sneak back and forth. I got a different act. I mean, it's nuts what I had to do to figure this deer out. So the deer, right before I left Illinois, the rut was starting to get crazy. I mean, I had him on camera. I ended up the 7-pointer comes in. I mean, it was one of them wild days where there's just deer running everywhere. I passed a big 7 the day before, bigger than the one that I shot, because I thought this was the big 9-pointer. When it came through, he stepped out. He came through the corner of the laurels, and when he stepped out, I was already at full draw, and I already got the shakes, and I was like, it's too late, and I smoked him. And then I left for Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw him, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have shot that deer if I would like had time to watch the deer, but it was too late. I mean, I already got excited. So,
Right.
and I misjudged. I thought he was the big one, and once he stepped out, and I got that on camera too. Actually, I turned the camera on, right where I thought he was going to show up, and he stepped in, and I'm pretty sure I got it all. I got years of footage. I just never go back and look at it.
Yeah.
So just so you know.
I mean, that's what the trophium's for, right? Like that's
Well, it's exactly what it's for. So when they contacted me with Trophium, I mean, my buddy calls me up and started telling me, I'm like, I love this idea. It's the best idea that I've ever heard of, especially because I mean, you open up this phone, there's 70-some thousand pictures on my phone. I'm a picture guy. My dad was not a picture guy, so we don't have any pictures growing up. He used to say, "Oh, we'll just keep that in our hearts, son." And I'm like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, we've killed some cool stuff. I want to see pictures. So now people get nuts. They're like, "Oh, why do you take so many pictures?" I'm like, bro, this is our memories. This is legacy, like, so you give kids or grandkids. So that's why I love Trophium so much because we can actually, you know, we can log everything and within seconds I can show everybody my whole portfolio.
Well, and it's funny, for me, I'm looking back and I'm kind of throwing in stuff from like years past, and
Mhm.
prior to 2012, I don't know that I took any pictures of me. I just am not a big picture guy. I have no pictures of deer that I shot. I think maybe one or two prior to 2012. And, I had been that's, 12, that's over a decade of hunting for me. I think I got my deer license my first year hunting in Michigan, you had to be 12 when I was a kid. That was the
Okay.
line. So you bow hunt when you're 12. So from 2000, and then even prior to that, just going hunting with my dad, like I have no photos of it, none. Your trophy photos are buried in your phone, and the details from your best hunts are already getting fuzzy. Trophium fixes that. It's the app built specifically for hunters and anglers to document every detail: location, weather, gear, and the full story, preserving your memories and allowing you to share them with your crew in private groups. Download Trophium today wherever you get your apps or at trophium.co. So like I'm the same way. Like I want a few like and I like to do like little video clips too, just because I
Yeah.
kind of it gives you a little bit better sense of what's going on around. And I've started to do that a ton, but prior to 2012, it's like it never happened, which is sad because there was a lot of cool stuff. A lot for
I
me. It's a
know.
lot of I shot a lot of does, in that
Oh, yeah.
12 years of hunting, mostly just a ton of does.
I mean, I shot so many animals from 12. It wasn't until I killed my first like trophy buck and I was 17 and my uncle shows up to the gunning club with one of them wind up crank cameras and throwaways and he took pictures for me and I have like I mean at the time I'd grown, I it was just one of them years where I grew out of my bow and my dad gives me his 3D bow. So I have this purple, black, and gold bow that I killed this deer with. I have it in its antlers, you know what I mean? Like I have all these photos of this deer. And when he finally got them developed, because we'd get cameras and we'd take pictures, we never get my dad never got them developed. They would just rot in the truck or just shot.
Right.
You never get them. So when my uncle did that, it was like a light switch went off, and I got my own cameras and I started, run over to CVS, drop my cameras off. That's how I started getting pictures, but I wasn't, you know what I mean? I was older, but I started getting older.
Well, and it was different too without like a cell phone with a camera on it. You know,
Oh yeah.
I just didn't even think to do it. I think the first time I thought to do it was, actually I was living in New Jersey and came back during the hurricane. Not Irene. What was the hurricane that trashed everybody's house?
Katrina or Sandy?
Sandy. Yeah. So, it hit like half of my classmates in in law school, like their houses were gone. And so like our school was closed down and our house, we had no power. And I had a new my daughter was like couple months old. And we're like, our house is getting down to like 50 degrees. Like I have to get out of here. So look for hotels, couldn't find anything in Pennsylvania or like everything was booked up. Everybody had left. So I'm just like, I guess I'll just drive home to Michigan. So I went back and hunted with a buddy like one sit and I shot this little, basket rack 8 point dog and a doe. I'm like, sweet. It's like my one chance to hunt this year. But that's like one of the first times I even thought to take a photo, to remember it, which is just funny now, given the world that we're living in, where everybody's taking pictures of everything. So no, I've been liking the Trophium for that, and it's just cool to see what other people are doing. I mean, what I like actually specifically about your entries is your Jersey Giant, like Jyant. Like it makes me laugh at literally every time. But it makes me kind of wonder, what's the deer hunting like by you? Are there good deer? Is it a lot of them, but small, or like what's it like to deer hunt in New Jersey?
It's hit or miss wherever you go. Like the Pine Barrens is not like it once was. There used to be piles of deer in there. And when I grew up, you weren't allowed to bait. So you had to be,
Yeah.
so baiting's legal in New Jersey now. At the time, it was illegal and everybody that I knew baited. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
you were stealth mode. Like my dad taught me how to not be seen in the woods. It was you get out of the truck and you walk. He'd be like, "Go walk 100 yards that way, son." And then I'd, you know what I mean? Then I'd jump in the woods and I'd run all the way back, and we'd pass the truck, and we'd hop over the road over here, and we'd go in, and pretty much everybody at the gun club got caught baiting except for my dad. Like,
Sure,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, we'd walk backwards down roads so you could so you're looks like you're walking out. There was that's and I it's just built in me naturally at this point. Like, when I'm on private land, it's weird because I still don't step in sugar sand. I catch myself all the time, or I
You're
don't s
funny.
you know what I mean? Like, I always walk around it, and so no one ever sees my tracks, and I'll catch myself, and I'm like, "What am I doing? I'm not, in public land," or even when you're trapping.
Yeah.
I've I've had people steal I had a fox get stolen out of a snare one time, and, I mean, it made the front page of all the shore towns. It made the
Really?
front page of all the shore town press, all the way down, and it was a big talk of everybody, that's what they all talked about. But it's like, they didn't know who I was. I called Fish and Game, and I told them who I was, and they came and got me, and I was 100% legal. I coulda pressed charges, but those people are nuts, bro. They're literally nuts. So
Yeah, it's funny how that goes. I mean, even, talking about having people show up to your spots and just crowding and stuff. I mean, we get a ton of that too. It's just an interesting part of hunting and trapping and everything else is just like the human factor of people around doing stuff. Sometimes they're cool. Like you meet some of the nicest, great guys out there, but sometimes they suck, you know.
oh, yeah. There's no doubt. So when I was hunting that big deer this year, I had a guy and a girl on a four-wheeler drive straight through the woods and get stuck underneath my tree stand. They passed me by like 15 yards, and they're screaming, "Ah!" They're hitting trees, and they're back and forth and back. And when they drive by me, they're like, I don't know, 7, 8 foot from my tree. And I'm not hunting very high. I'm only hunting like 16 foot. They're
Right.
right there, and I'm just sitting there and I'm watching them, and I'm not, hey, trying to get people's attention. I'll just sit there quiet. And hopefully they leave, because I don't want them to be an anti or something and come and screw with
Right.
my setup and all that other stuff. So yeah, that happened to me. That was one of them 11 sits before that deer. Come to find out, the story on that deer is I had him on camera all the way until November 6th when I was in Illinois, and, I never seen the deer again, and then on Christmas Eve, I was driving through town, and I saw the kid that I knew he hunted over there, and I'm like, I said, "Dude, so what's the deal with the big 9?" He's, "Oh, the big 9," and my heart just sunk because 'cause I'm hunting this deer still every single day the wind's good. I'm in it every single day. I'm hunting morning, night. I'm trying to find this deer. I'm trying to kill it. I'm setting up trail cameras. He's like, "Oh, I passed that big 8," and the 8 that's was running with the 9 was a really nice deer. So, he says, "I passed it." He said, "Everybody thought I was crazy on November 10th." He said, "November 11th, the big 9 walk in." He goes, "I stuck it." He's and, he never found it. And from everything that he told me, he killed the deer. The deer's dead. I've had so many situations. Some of them expandable broadheads that they're using, those 2 blades,
Yeah.
the ones where they fold back like a
Yep.
rage.
Yep.
And the reason I'll say that is because I had horrible experience with them. I broke every single blade of every animal I killed, and I'm talking like 15 animals and for some reason, I just kept blowing blades off, breaking them. Not I didn't I don't know if I ever I think I lost 1 doe, but what happens is when that thing goes in, and you rarely get pass-throughs if you hit the other shoulder with them things,
Right.
because it's such a blunt, they're so blunt, and then they fall back and they fall out,
Right.
and that's what happened to this kid. He wasn't shooting a rage, he was shooting very, yeah, he hit it high, and so I'm assuming he got 1 lung because he got 13 inches of penetration, he was saying, or so he hit the opposite shoulder. It's the only thing that's not allowing that arrow to come out. He said he shot it high and a hair back. Oh, yeah, I was freaking sick, so I gave up, I was done, and then, from that point, I started duck hunting. That's what happens. Once something I lose attention, and
Gotta
it's
move on.
you gotta move on, and
Yeah.
like, so that was that deer, and, so the way I trap now, I used to trap and just, I made enough money to cover the cost and fuel. Well, when my daughter was born, she's 13 now, it just got to the point where my buddy passed away when she was born, and he was the one that was my fur buyer. And then, I started putting everything up myself. There's no money in the fur, so I couldn't keep, catching these critters and taking their lives and over what? A few bucks, so I don't do it. And, now, I think, like, maybe, like, 4 years ago, I got somebody told me about this predator competition. So I've been doing them for about 4 years, so that's what I literally don't do anything anymore. I just wait until they come, and then I go trap for a week.
Quick shout out to another amazing sponsor of ours, Kifaru International. If you're like us and love hunting in some of the toughest places, you know how crucial having the right gear is. Kifaru makes some of the toughest, most reliable backpacks and tents out there, and it's all made right here in America. Whether you're hunting in the backcountry or headed to your favorite deer stand, Kifaru has you covered. Keep your eyes out this year, especially as they're launching a ton of amazing new products like the new Arc frame that just came out. So next time you gear up for an adventure, make sure to check out Kifaru International.
And then I have this chick that rolls up in a CRV. Bro, she opens up her CRV, and I throw all the critters right in the back of her. I give them all to her.
What does she do with them?
She skins them all, she tans them. She's amazing. Like, she she'll, like, take a squirrel and put a raccoon head on it, or she, like, glues them together. Bro, she makes the craziest, like, looking T-Rex looking funny critters, and, I mean, dude, more power to you. She took my bear paws, the one I killed, and, she took both of them and put them on shadow boards. She skinned them out. She tanned the fur, so she's got the pads in the shadow boxes, and then she's got both paws, and I gave each one of my daughters with the nails on them, each one of my daughters for, Christmas a couple years ago.
Cool.
So, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, she utilizes the animals. She's she does a lot of stuff, dude, so I give them all to her. That's my
That's a good question. So everybody sees in the news like, oh, New Jersey has all these bears, like most bears, so many bears. Do you bear hunt in New Jersey a bit, or what does it look like to do that?
so, I there's definitely a lot of bears in New Jersey. Um, the first year I went to go up there to find bears, I found one bear that is so big, and my fear was, I don't know how to get this bear out of the woods.
Right.
Like, the amount of work that it would have taken. So I found the smaller bear. Like, I went up there and me and my dad, I was like, "Dad, let's go take a ride. I want to try to kill my first bear." So, all right, I'll give you a little back history on this one. I had no interest in ever killing a bear. When I went to Illinois, the first time, I think it was in 2011 or 10, one or the other, um, dude throws ham on the he throws it right on the table, and I start cutting his ham, and I love ham, and I'm eating ham sandwiches, I'm eating ham and crack I mean,
Yeah.
every day. That ham's gone, he'd reach in, he'd grab another smoked ham, throw it on the table, and I ate it. And then this other dude that was on the same hunt with him cooked sausage, and it was bear sausage. I was like, "Oh, I'm going bear hunting," and that was it. Once I tasted the meat and I fell in love with it, I went up and I killed a 280, the first year, and then no, this is New Jersey.
Oh, up in New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah, I just went to North Jersey. So the first time I ever went up there, I think I went up there with, like, 3 cameras or something, and I realized there's woods everywhere. So I went to Walmart and I bought every camera, batteries, SD card off the shelves, and I started hanging cameras everywhere. My buddy's like, I'm like, "How do I find a bear?" He's like, "Dude, big raccoon." I'm like, "All right, big raccoon."
There you
So
go.
I went on every river crossing, anything I could think of, and the first thing I did, I hiked up over top of this mountain. I went down the backside and I found this lake. And all of a sudden, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is a great place to bear hunt." And I turn around and I start hiking back up the mountain, and I was like, "Oh, I'm an idiot. Like, I'm not getting a bear up this mountain. I could barely walk up it." Like, I just walked 3 miles into the woods. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking that I'm this big bear hunter. I'm like, "Oh, I'm an idiot." So I start I start traveling around, I start checking onX, and I start, looking for any kind of waterways or stuff like that, and I figured out how to do it. I have my little tricks that once you start figuring something out, you know how it is.
Yeah.
So I bought cameras and I hung them. I littered the whole woods full of these cameras, and every week I went up. I put like 30,000 miles on my truck in like, I don't know, a few months. Um, yeah. So I was there. It's 3.5 hours from my house. So I was going up every weekend. The worst would be you go up there and all of a sudden the camera didn't take any pictures because you forgot to turn it on or
Oh, I've
forgot.
done that so many times.
When you're going up there, I would leave at like 3 in the morning, so I'd get up there at first light,
Yeah.
and I'd try to get everything out of the way and get home before noon on the weekend to have hang out with the family. So I did that. I got that. I killed that bear, and then our governor he took away bear hunting for a while. So bear hunting comes back in. This is the second bear I killed, and I had cell cams at this point. This is probably, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Not long ago, yeah.
Whenever it opened up, I don't remember the year. So I sent up, I went up a week before season. I set, 3 or 4 cameras up.
And you're not baiting.
No, no. So you have to find something that they're coming to. It's and it's pretty, you know what I mean? Like they're coming behind someone's restaurant. They're coming behind
100%. Yeah. A dump
we
would be nice, stuff.
housing developments.
Yep.
So I started finding, dude, the mud on the end of these little cricks, you can see right where the tracks are at, and, I started hanging cameras. Well, I saw this bear, and it was big, dude. I was like I called my buddy, I'm like, "Yo, we gotta go," and I only set the cameras up 1 week before,
Right.
and I call him up, I'm like, "Yo, we gotta go," and he's like, "No," he starts hemming and hawing. He couldn't go Monday. He couldn't, or something, or his kid's birthday, we're supposed to go, and he's like him and hawed. I was like, "You know what? This is like 9:30 at night, 10 o'clock at night." I finally make a decision. I'm like, "Yo, I'm going." My daughters are like, "What?" I'm like, "Let's go. I need help." I put a 250 quad in the back of the truck. I put ropes, sleds, anything I could think that I needed. I loaded up the truck. I worked till like midnight getting everything, pulley systems, and I went after this bear. And I remember the next morning, I mean, I didn't sleep like an hour that night. I was too excited. I drive 3.5 hours up. I ran my truck out of gas. Like, where it says mileage? It was like -2 or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You do.
I was not stopping at this point. I was gonna run out of fuel. I got there. It's like this eerie day. I mean, everything's fogged out. There's water just rushing down the mountain because it had just rained. I got no pocket knife. I got a bow. I got my daughter's pink headlamp that you can't see 3 foot in front of you. So alls I'm doing is holding it on the ground so I could try to walk on rocks and not all through the mud.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember it was the most eerie feeling. I'm going in, I'm not a bear hunter. I'm thinking I'm going after a big bear. I
Yeah.
sneak all the way in there. I go up the tree. I sit all day till like noon or all morning till like noon. I gotta go get food. I haven't eaten anything, and I gotta get fuel, and I didn't even buy the permit to hunt on this property. So I put a note on my window. I tried to pay online, but I have to pick up the permit, and I stuck it to my window, like, you know what I mean? "Here's all my information. I apologize." So I do all that stuff. I come back. It was like an hour later. I'm sitting, and, I remember the Lord was, like, laid on my heart, like, "Are you up here just to kill a bear?" Bro, I got a conviction. I remember I was like, oh, because I was in straight kill mode.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my bow in hand. I don't put my
Right.
bow down very often. Like, I'm ready for all day. And then I realized, I'm like, dude, I hung my bow up. Like, the fear of God hit me. I was like, Lord, I said, forgive me. I said, "You know what?" I said, "At this time," it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock. I was like, "I'm content." I said, "I can leave right now. I'm done." Like, all of a sudden, I had that peace, and I'm watching. They got these really cool little red squirrels up there with like this white trim, little pointy hair on their ears. We don't have them here,
Oh,
bro.
really?
Yeah, dude, these things. This dude's hanging out with me. I'm taking pictures. I'm taking pictures of birch trees and birds, and I'm chilling. And it's starting to get dark, and I look up. Bro, and it looks like a plugged in black light. This thing's so shiny and it's coming down the mountain. And now I'm just like, Oh my god! I mean, it looks like a little VW bug, bro, and it's just
Yeah.
and he's walking mad slow, and his head's not lifting. This is all new to me. Yeah, that right there. Just slow though. It was just slow like this, one step at a time, going back. And I saw it like 100 yards out, and it's coming down the mountain. Dude, it stops, and the wind's blowing from him to me,
Yeah.
and he just turns like this, yo, and he comes straight walking like towards my right where my trail was. And when he's out like 20 yards, there's trees and there's no, I draw back and I'm just full draw and he's just walking. I mean, slow, slow. And I'm like, I'm going to drill this thing as soon as he gives me the first opportunity. This bear comes out, dude, puts his head past this tree. I mean, all I have is a headshot. And I'm like, come on, give me something, give me something. He smells the rock that I step. I remember stepping on the rock to and from. His hair went, woof, it blew up. He looked left and looked right, and he sidestepped like one step. Dude, he opened up his back. I smoked him right between his shoulders. Oh, dude, he turned into a devil. It was just like, all right, see that? He was like, "Brr." Yo, he started gripping the tree. I blow his back legs out. He's rolling around. I start just firing arrows at him. Bro, I did, dude. I didn't stop shooting until I got to the last one. I was like, ooh, I better keep one just in case.
Yeah.
I hit him. I shot him 5 times. And I get down there, bro, and I think he falls in a mud puddle from being up in the stand looking down. I get down there. He's in the size of a hole the size of my truck. I'm like, I can't even pick the thing's head up. It was like 400 pounds. I hunted, but honestly, it was 400 pounds.
Hunters, listen up. Latitude Outdoors builds gear for the mobile hunter. Their saddle hunting systems are designed to cut weight, not performance, so you can cover more ground and set up fast, wherever the hunt takes you. From dense hardwoods to open ridges, their mobile-focused gear keeps you efficient and adaptable. Check out their full range at latitudeoutdoors.com.
That's what it was. And so like I happen to know this dude, and it was crazy. Him and his son came and gave me a hand to get the thing out. A four-wheeler and 3 guys, and it took everything. It took us like almost like 4 hours or something to get it out. 3, 4 hours, whatever it was. But yeah, that was my New Jersey bear. The second one I've ever killed here.
Maybe it's on trophy and I'll check it out, but like once you start bear hunting, at least for me, like once I got into hunting bears, like that is maybe my favorite thing to hunt, or like top 2, because I love deer. But they're just such a cool animal. They do such cool, unique things. They act totally different. They're just like a really interesting, like different type of thing to hunt, you know. And when you're like, wow, every time that's how I feel. It's like wow.
Oh yeah, it blows your mind. There's no doubt. We got my daughter her first bear this year as well with her bow. So that was that meant more to me than anything I like it. My bears don't mean nothing. Like when she shot her first bear, dude, she was just like, we had this small one come in and on private property, you're allowed to have a bait pile 100 yards away or whatever. So we're like on the trail, and this little one, dude, he's just keep working his way back and forth. And she's like, Dad, is it legal? And I'm like, that one's not that big. Well, I look at her and it's almost 11 o'clock, and I'm like, hey, let's go get lunch and come back. And I look, we're in a ground blind now. The little one at one point in time walked straight at us, like 10 yards from us. And I'm just sitting there not thinking nothing. My thing walks away, and then I look over her eyes are lit up. She's like, I was like, what's up? She's like, Dad, that bear almost got. I was like, no, it didn't almost get. No, it didn't get us, bro. Like, relax. So I tell her literally, I'm like, let's go grab lunch. Let's do, get out of here. I reach down to grab her quiver, and I look next to me, and here's another bear coming up. It's 130 pounds, is what she killed. The thing's coming around. It stops for a minute. I got it all on video. She smokes this thing, dude. Thing runs off. I thought she hit it a hair back. My buddies come and they're like, what do you want to do? I was like, let's just let this thing lay. Let's go grab breakfast. Did we grab breakfast, come back? It wasn't 20 yards from where we stopped. It was just on the other side of the thicket laying dead. They just die.
Yeah, they don't, yeah, I mean, they will die. They close up fast because of all that fat and stuff, but I mean, way better to hit it a little what feels like far back than a far forward because all their stuff is, is pushed back a little bit. Everybody hits them too far up and, then you're chasing them through a swamp and then, bad stuff happens. But
Yeah, that was so she got her first bear. I killed a couple, and then I went to Alberta this year, and that was an experience, dude. I don't know if you've ever been up there. What's that?
a lot of bears, a lot of bears.
Oh, there's bears and lots. So, dude,
You get one?
I killed two.
You killed two, of course.
Yeah, yeah, I killed two. You can
Did you bring the meat back? Can you bring the meat back from the
no, you got to donate it.
that blows?
I know that is one of the roughest parts about it. Now, if you drove, you could do it, or if you want to put it in a carry on.
Yeah. I've done that. I've done both of those things for
Yeah.
not bringing meat home. Yeah. Uh, the carry-on option, even checking a bag or checking a cooler, you throw it in a cooler, you duct tape the snot out of it, and you just throw it on check baggage. Like you can get a lot of meat home that way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For a while, and I kept giving them away, but I'd have somebody just messaged me about this, like, "Hey, I've been using your cooler." I would have a bunch of cheap coolers in my garage from like, go out west or whatever, shoot something, tape it all up, bring it back. And then it's like, you get like an excess of like cheap Coleman coolers, building up. But no, that's cool. I mean, I love bear hunting. I don't know that I have a trip planned for this spring or fall. Hopefully I can figure something out and get out and try to shoot a bear because it's my whole family. That's our favorite game meat.
No,
Bear.
yeah, I didn't realize, dude. It's like prime rib. That's how I explain it to people.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, bear meat's like prime rib. They're like, what? I'm like, I'm telling you, it's delicious. My first bear, I just butchered it myself. The second one I brought to the butcher shop because it was so hot out, and dude, I think I paid $400 to get this thing butchered, but I had everything made. Like every time he's like, "Oh, do you want Italian meatballs?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I need some of that." You want sausage? Oh yeah, hot.
Nope. Up the
You know.
price. Yeah.
Oh, dude, next thing I know, I had it way up there. I had smoked hams. Dude, I got everything. And we just finished at the trapping school is the last bit of meatballs and sausage I had, and I killed that bear. It was all shrink wrapped, and the meat was completely healthy still, looking good. So yeah, I'm out of that meat, but anyhow, you can make all sorts of cool stuff with bear.
Yeah, and I've talked about this in the podcast. I like the whole shoulder in a big pan on the smoker with like peppers and onions and like a beer or like a hard cider in there.
Mhm.
Like like barbacoa. You just can like when it's done, it's like the pure white shoulder bone, like exposed. Everything falls off. You just shred that and make it into tacos and stuff. It's like as good as it gets. And
Yeah.
fat too, like the fat, we render it down. We'll make cook with it and stuff. It's good for pies and like it's just very flavorless. So it's like you can use it for like anything, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Stuff.
I enjoy it. I mean, bear hunting's fun. I didn't think I'd ever get into it, but I tasted it and that was it. I was sold. My next biggest thing is I want to go after an elk. So
Are you doing that this fall? We were talking about that.
yeah, we got interrupted on the phone. I was like, I gotta go by.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Matter
All right, go.
Listen, I don't tell anybody about my trips in my house until they're finalized. So
Yeah, I have done the same. Actually, I should keep this conversation a little quiet then.
yeah,
No, talking about.
that's why I'm at my parents' house. I came over here to talk.
That's funny.
So yeah, my brother and I are supposed to go to one of his buddies' places, out in Colorado. So we have to. It's a draw state, so we're gonna put in here for the draw. I think we're going muzzleloader. I'm not 100%. He didn't want us to go with bow the first time. He's like, dude, let's get you an elk. Like, get your first elk out of the way, and then once we get that, then you guys can come back for archery or what have you.
Archery's cool because you're gonna get like the full like screaming their head off action.
Well, that's what I want.
My buddy, actually Joe, who people who listen know who he is, but he claims that an state elk hunt is easier than an out of state whitetail hunt, like over the counter, like where you're like just on public land looking for deer. He's like elk are easier than deer. So I've never shot an elk. I've hunted them a few times, so I can't, confirm or deny it, but
Yeah.
that
I've killed a lot of whitetail in different states, just kinda I've never hired a guy well, that's a lie. We did it one time, we got, how do you say, screwed? I don't know any other word to use, but yeah, we went down south to this, we're supposed to be able to kill all these deer. I thought it was a meat hunt. My uncle
right.
set it up. So, do you know about the Harrisburg show?
Yep.
North America Harrisburg show. So, we're not far from there. We're like 3 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
So, my uncle, he set us all up. We're supposed to go down south. We're supposed to kill a bunch of bucks. You're allowed to kill 5 bucks. Every buck's got to be bigger than the last. And you're allowed to kill at least one trophy hog. The whole thing was a joke, dude. It
You
was an
think?
app. Well, we all killed a trophy hog, but we won in a 20-acre pen. It wasn't wild. Like I thought we were chasing wild hogs. We're chasing wild hogs that were at least in a pen, a 20-acre. I killed one with a knife with catch dogs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I got that on video too. Um,
That gets real out there with a knife and a hog.
oh yeah, it was. I mean, it was real. Don't get me wrong, but it was like I'm in a pen. I'm not a. I'm not a pen guy. You know, I don't shoot ducks on the water. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things I like to do. I just like to.
Right.
I wanted to go on a real deal hog hunt, and then I go over to the one property. He's like, "Yeah, this is 8 points or better." I'm like, "8 points or better? I haven't even killed a deer. I brought like 3 coolers. I thought we were going to load up on meat."
Yeah.
And the guy was treating the people that were working for I mean, we'll talk about that another time, but
Yeah.
that was my only one guided hunt, and, other than that, like, my brother and I and my dad, we've gone to different states, and we've done pretty good. Um
You haven't come to Michigan yet, I've noticed.
No, I've never been there.
Yeah,
Not
played in New Jersey. I don't know. I'd be interested to see how the deer compare. There's a lot of them, but there's not a lot of giants. No Jersey giants there here.
my buddy just killed one last day on Saturday, 141. It's a big deer. The one you
Oh,
you just posted it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Hunter just killed that thing. Dude, he killed it within 40 minutes of the end of the season.
that is awesome. That's been
So
always a dream of mine. Like last day kill a deer thing.
yeah. I've never done that. I've caught a lot of coyotes on the last day of season.
Sure. Yeah.
For some reason, it's like, you don't catch one in 3 or 4 days or a week, and the last day, boom, you got a coyote. But, I don't know, maybe I have or I don't remember.
I,
I killed most of them.
on the last day, I'm fine with tagging on day one. Like I don't have any problem with that. I try to every year, but
So do I.
never turns out. So
As long as I can fill my tag, then I can go hunt something else. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at it. It's either like, we have goose season here right now until February 15th. Newt's grandson just flew in from Florida. Well, no, he didn't just, he's flying in tomorrow. So we want to try to find some geese, but, that's what's open right now.
that's what you got.
Yeah.
Go to squirrels. Like that's what I got going. I got small game here.
Oh, okay.
Being coyotes, for sure. Soon night, a little thermal hunting. So,
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
well, hey, we're coming up on time. Just appreciate you taking the time to chat and kind of talk about all the cool stuff you guys are doing in New Jersey. It's it's a good reminder for everybody that's listening, for me included. Like if you want to get after it outside, every state has an opportunity, or there's a pot that you can find it wherever you are if you're creative and you look for it. And it's cool to see that you're doing that in a place like New Jersey, which I love. Actually, I really love living in New Jersey, and even though I was kind of in the, a much more urban setting than where you're at, I did love it there. I love the people, and I love how direct you guys all are. Like very, like in Michigan, it's like everybody's apologizing and not really saying what they mean. And then I'd go hang out with my buddies in New Jersey, and they're like telling you like they're real, straight to your face, like saying it how it is. So I've always appreciated that about the New Jersey culture.
Yeah, we don't sugarcoat much.
No.
It's pretty much black or white. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a BSer. I'd like to try to keep it as real as possible. Um,
Here it's like I don't know how anybody actually feels, and I feel uncomfortable that way. I'm like, I don't know, what you mean always. So that definitely was refreshing, and I really actually maybe my favorite thing about New Jersey is the way you guys drive. You learn to drive defensively. I feel like in New Jersey you're taught to drive offensively, and everybody does it, and it just works out. But when I first
yeah.
moved, I'm like, how is not everybody in a car accident out here? Like, this is insanity. And it just kind of works. Everybody's honking and yelling and somehow fine with each other.
We don't have it so bad. Like, it's different worlds, that North Jersey and the South Jersey type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
when I grew up here, dude, it was dirt bikes and bicycles. Like, I could go anywhere. There was no housing develops, you know what I mean? They haven't blown up yet. The golf courses didn't come in, and so I lost a lot of hunting and all that stuff here. But I've traveled, different states and this and that. But what I learned, like I thought I wanted to move out west,
Hmm.
and then once the winter hits and stuff, it's like there's not much going on out there. Like
No, nope.
like South Jersey here, I've got stuff going on year round. I mean, not only do I could fish, I mean, hunt, trap, I can fish. I mean, I can go offshore, like the oceans. I have the river that goes right to the ocean in my backyard. Like I go to a neighbor's house and use his boat ramp to go, and I'm literally 10 minutes from the ocean. So I got offshore fishing. I mean, you don't realize how good New Jersey is until you leave it and then you come back and you're like, okay, I enjoy this. So I guess that's why I never left too. And my whole family's from here. So it's like my niece just walked in my mom's house. She's gonna cook lunch. You know what I mean? Like we have a big family. We all stick together.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So
Well, hey man, thanks for coming on. Everybody listening, appreciate you guys tuning in this week. We'll see you again next week. Thanks, Steve.
all right, you got it. Thank you. Take care.